Hi there, I'm Karen from KarenTurpin.com. This is my energy and abundance reading for this week, beginning the 18th of October. And I'm wondering, do you feel as if you've been in a bit of a slump in recent weeks? Do you feel as if the energy's been very, very heavy? Some people have said to me that they feel like they're in sinking sand and they can't kind of get up and out of it. Again, that heavy sucking down feeling. And, I've had moments of it myself, to be perfectly honest with you. But there are lots of planets that have been retrograding in recent weeks. I think we had 7 planets retrograding, which is a lot to have all at the same time. So, I'm not a huge astrology person, but I know that when planets are retrograding, it kind of drags us back a little bit sometimes. Of course, the classic one, Mercury retrograde, is technical hitches, and I've had those as well. I actually sent out 6 exactly the same emails to my email list, which is just like weird. Anyway, but there you go. That's another story. So when we have all of these planets retrograding, it impacts all of us differently, depending on where the planet is in your astrology chart, depending on your birth, etc. So it's impacting all of us differently. However, as an overall general, with all these planets, it's taking us back, going over old stuff. So you may have found that a lot of old memories are coming up. It's all coming up to be cleared, of course, because we know that we're in this spiritual awakening, spiritual expansion phase on the planet. And so we've got to clear the old stuff in order to ascend, basically, but to raise our vibration. So these old memories have been coming up. Some people have been going back to old habits, old ways of being that are not particularly healthy for them. It's things that they thought they'd let go of, habits and actions, choices that they thought they'd moved past, but they found that they're going back to them. Same old ways of thinking. So for example, say you were the type of person that always beat yourself up and told yourself you were not good enough and not qualified enough or not important enough. And then you do this personal development work and you kind of move out of that phase. Well, a lot of people have been going right back into it again, kind of beating themselves up, having the imposter syndrome that I'm not good enough again. And they're saying to me, geez, I thought I'd worked through this. I thought I'd got over this. Well, yes, they did. But each time we step up to a new level, these old patterns come up again, not in exactly the same way. They kind of come cleverly disguised sometimes, but it is another level of healing for us to do. So don't panic if you've had this old stuff coming up. You haven't gone way backwards necessarily, but there are more things coming up to be healed and cleared, and that's a good thing. I've also seen, which is interesting, people that I thought were really awake and spiritual and really aligned and kind of progressive, I've seen them go backwards as if they've fallen asleep. And the things that they've known for such a long time, about energy and growth and expansion and healing and things like that, it all appears to have gone out the window. So it's literally like they've gone back, but they've fallen asleep. So I think what's really important here is to remember that we all make choices. We all make our choices as to where we end up next. So what I'm seeing is awake people falling asleep again. I'm seeing betrayal by people that we thought we could trust. Suddenly they've done like 180 degrees and you're like, what the heck just happened to you? Who are you? I don't even know you anymore with this new way of thinking that you're coming up with, or old way of thinking. Broken promises. People are feeling let down by other people. They promised one thing and they've just changed and gone in the opposite direction. So we need to remember that people are aligning to their next experience, which may not be the same as ours. We think we're moving together, on the same path through life, and suddenly we find that one has diverted and gone somewhere else. That's actually true always through our lives. But I think it's amplified right now. It seems to be like the spotlight is on this. So remember, People are making their choices and they're entitled to, and the choices they make will naturally dictate what happens to them next. How does this affect our abundance? Because I'm all about abundance, as you probably know. Well, it's all to do with our vibrational alignment. So if we get pulled backwards and we go into fear and shame and despair and grief, and we get stuck in the unfairness of the whole situation, those are all lower vibrational energies. And it pulls us out of our natural flow of abundance. Well, of course, abundance, feel that in comparison. It's uplifting, it's light, it's expansive, it's joyous, you feel happy when you're abundant. You know, all of that is much higher vibration. So here we are, we're striving to become abundant, yet for some reason we've fallen backwards, it seems, into fear or despair or grief. Well, look, clearly we're not going to attract abundance to us when we're in that low vibration. So it's worth remembering that this is a global thing as well, not just completely personal. And we may be affected by what's happening in the mass consciousness, what's happening around us in the world, in the people in our town, people in our home, you know, make different choices that make us feel sad sometimes. And so we're responding to what's going on out there, and it's affecting what's going on in here, which then naturally affects our vibrational alignment. So the question is, if everyone out there is making their choices as they're entitled to, are you making your choice too? Or are you being dragged along with what everyone else says it should be, or you should do, or you should feel, all of that stuff? So I want to remind you to make the choice for you. What do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? Because what you choose now has a knock-on effect in every area of your life. And if you're feeling down, if you're feeling heavy, if you're feeling betrayed, you get to choose whether you stay in that energy or you shift out of it. I know it's hard when you're feeling like crap to suddenly shift and feel amazing. You know, it's not quite that simple, as we know. And so how can we shift out when things are feeling bad? Well, my number one go-to is always gratitude. Focus on what you have in your life, what you feel grateful for, what feels really good to you, that uplifts you. And that could be a walk in nature, it could be putting on music, it could be taking a magnesium bath or a salt bath. Whatever it is that lifts your spirit, put that in. Do that every day as a new ritual. Uplift your spirit. Really appreciate what you have in your life. The good things, the things that bring you joy. It could be a summer's day. It could be the fact that you have a roof over your head. It could be clothes on your back, food on your table. You know, we always go back to those basic things, but they're very, very important. If you take all of those away, people get very nervous. So if you feel like the whole world is falling down around you, pull your energy in, focus on you, and you choose how you feel. You choose what will be your next experience. And in a sense, you have to, you know, it's about non-attachment to what everyone else is doing in the outside world. Bring yourself in, focus on you, and make the choices that are best for you, because the choices you make have a knock-on effect, and they will lead you down a very specific path based on those choices. So as I say, there's been a lot of planets going backwards, dragging us back to clear old stuff so that we can move forward again into a lighter vibration. Now, the good news as well, though, is that many of those planets are starting to go forward again. So instead of it appearing like they go back, they actually become stationary, and then they begin to turn around. There is a little bit of a lag time there, so you may not instantly feel great, but in the last few days, I think even a couple have started to move, and we've got more coming, more shifting forwards again. That can lead us into a higher vibration, but remember, there could be a bit of a fallout, as you know, when the chips are down kind of thing. And there's always a slight delay when things change direction. So stay on it, focus on yourself, how you want to feel, the choices that you make going forward, so that you know that you're doing the very best for you, not being kind of coerced in with this energy that's all around you. Focus on you, keep moving forward, and very soon things start to become clearer. We've got a little bit more of a time where things are turbulent and disruptive, powerful, but we are without doubt moving into a more positive timeline where abundance is so much more available to you, for you, if that's where you focus and if that's what you choose to experience as the next part of your evolution. So I hope that's been helpful to you. DM me if you've got any questions or comments. I love to hear from you. You can find me everywhere, Karen Turpin, Abundance Coach, and come on over and join my Facebook group, Abundant and Successful Female Entrepreneurs, and we can continue the discussion there if you like. Otherwise, DM me, because I love to receive your messages, and I read and respond to everything. So awesome. Hope you have a great week. I will see you next week. Bye for now.